No. Have you been frightened the last week? Or just last night? Did you have because of the thunder? We've had some rain, haven't we? We've had Storm Bumsy. Wasn't it? Storm Bumsy. Is that what it was called? Hi everybody and welcome back to the next KTTV video. And today's something slightly different to what we're, if he doesn't attack me, slightly different to what we're used to. Today I'm going to revisit some of my old videos, and this particular video was one I did in 2016 when my hair was slightly less grey, on my panel plane Richard, which a lot of you may be familiar with, but if not, this is Richard. Now, Richard was a project that I started back, I think probably as early as 2012, when I got the original, the bass from Richard Tomes, who sadly died in 2014. And I carried on and did all the metal parts, which he was going to do, the lever cap, the iron, the cap iron, and obviously the wooden parts. But this video goes into showing you how it performs, and hopefully will bring back some memories for some people who've seen it before. So apologies for that. In future weeks I will be doing the occasional revisit on some of the other panel planes. These are all infill planes. This one is a Spears, sort of mid-period Spears, and it has the celebrity status of being owned by David Barron, and he sold off some of his planes, and I managed to get this at a very reasonable price, and it's a beauty. It's the script signature on it. Another couple of ones I got, one of the very early infill planes that I've had, let alone anything else. This was a basket case, no maker, none at all, but I think of Scottish origin. Here we can see the heart and Cupid's bow at the bottom here, which is indicative of a Scottish lever cap. So it was a casting that would have been bought by the user along with the lever cap, and it would have had its own screw. So what I've done is I've just made one because it was missing. It was an early attempt, and it's actually a bit original really, because this is a knurled brass, but it has a boxwood inset for the drop, the water drop in there. That's quite sharp actually, probably not a good idea. The iron on it is Hernshaw Brothers, so it could actually be from quite a wide period, but it is very, very sharp. And the last of my panel planes that I have is Mr. Tween, which is actually quite a strange one. It's beautiful, it's stunningly made, and it only has the name J. Entwistle. Now, Entwistle did make planes, but whether or not he made this one, I'm not sure, or whether this is an owner made, but it has the most gorgeous knurling on the knob here, which is slightly curved and cross-hatched. So Ollie Sparks and I looked at this and we were trying to work out how they've actually made it, because it's a beautiful piece of engineering, and it performs beautifully. It's the one I tend to use in the workshop rather than getting Richard out every time for a special occasion. So without more to do, I'll pass you over to me in the past, 2016, my video on Richard the panel plane. Hello again, it's me. I'm back from the land of the cutting knives and nurses and things. That was fun. My first video after that, and I can say I can stand up now and walk fairly well. Still another operation to go, but I'm getting there. The other day, yesterday in fact, I posted a picture of tidying up and servicing Richard. There were a number of people who said, who the hell's Richard? Well, maybe it's best if I just give you a quick, sorry, I'll perch on here if you don't mind, a quick rundown for those people who aren't aware of
what I get up to. This is a tool I made in collaboration with a guy called Richard Tomes, who sadly died halfway through, very suddenly, quite young. He was a genius. He made beautiful things like holdfasts and anything out of metal. He was a blacksmith par excellence. We used to converse very frequently on another forum, and he lived up north in Midlands, and he was into making things of metal, and decided one day to make a metal body, dovetailed, and we met up at a timber merchant's, one of their open days, and he just gave me the sole and said, "Hey, I'll get on with this." So that was the start of Richard. He's called Richard after Richard, but halfway through, as I say, he died, and sadly, and I had to do all the metal bits that were left, like the blade and the lever cap and everything else, and of course the wooden parts. But after 2 years of fighting about like that with a milling machine, hand tools, various other bits and bobs that I'd never used before, he was born. Obviously I love him, he's quite sentimental to me, but quite a few people said, well, can you tell us the story, tell us what it is and show us it in use. It's a panel plane. I've got a couple of panel planes. It's an Infill panel plane, the stock standard size, about 15 inches, made for flattening and smoothing out panels. Very heavy, weighs in about the same as a Norris of the same size, but it is quite wide. It's got a 65 millimeter, God knows what that is in foreign, hold on, it's a 2.5 plus a smidgen, 2 and so many thick. It's quite big. It's a very thick iron. It's 5mm plus 3mm cap iron, so you're talking about 8 mil thick. So it's quite authoritative. When you push it, it goes and it doesn't stop. Got to get that out of the way before I use it. Just noticed that lump of steel's not a good idea to put in front of one. The reason I'm doing a video today is I also got this plane from Aaron Watts. Thank you, Aaron. That was really nice of you to send me the stuff that you had in the shed, sort of thing, and that, and a load of these auger bits which I've used already in anger to drill another hole in Mr. Rugo. Anyway, I've tuned this up, Aaron, so we'll have a look at that in a second. I wanted to do that to make sure that it worked okay. Flatten the sole, as you can see, it's quite flat now. That was on 80 grit paper, rough paper really, it's quite smooth already. And I just wanted to do that so that before I start restoring the actual, it's quite dry, it's been stuck in a shed, not been used, it's in good nick. I reckon that's going to be a stonking plane. Anyway, no further to do, I shall show you how this. Now you've seen these videos with these little Japanese men, and they don't just do it like, you know what I mean? They got the plane and they put it at the end of the bit of wood, and they get someone to sort of pull it along like that, and they end up with a shaving. Well, this is a push plane, so it's a Western plane, so I'll do a similar thing, but bit of pine, nothing special. Can do it with hardwood, doesn't matter. It's quite authoritative, and it leaves a glass-like finish. Douglas hates it when I throw stuff up in the air like that, but I don't. So as you can see, you don't get much better than that, and it doesn't. There's absolutely. I mean, I can, like I say, do it with one hand, and it doesn't. It doesn't need any effort whatsoever to make what is basically a botanical sample, as you can see, and it just does it all day long. 01 tool steel, can't get much better than that. Sharp as hell, like a razor scalpel, and there isn't there isn't, in my opinion, a better plane, type of plane ever made, because infills just have weight. They have an impetus. They have really thick irons, and as I mentioned before, they just have mojo. This one's got it in spades. Absolutely no noise at all. It's just beautiful sound after doing this. I could do this all day, you know what I mean? It's just so much fun. But I feel like David Charlesworth here. No ruler trick on this, by the way. Don't need it. We can do sycamore impressions. We can do sycamore impressions. Yeah, I think we can. Do this all day. I won't do it all day because it will bore everybody to tears, so we'll leave the last one just floating in midair. So Aaron, what I did was I got this whole idea, and I'm not entirely sure if this is about as fine as I can set it, but it's not going to be of the same. It's not going to be of the same level, because I need to sharpen this iron as well a bit more, but not quite the same thinness. That's about as close as I can get it. I can get it down a bit, but it's not bad, eh? I reckon that is not bad for an old plane that's been sitting around doing nothing. And you know, obviously sharpen up the iron a bit, tune the sole a little bit more. I don't know if I can get any more out of this. Yeah, quite thin, not continuous though. So the iron needs sorting out a little bit, squaring up, but basically I'm quite impressed. It'll be tuned. Let's just flatten this off and finish, eh? And of course it won't do it now because it's all out of line. So we'll just make a few cuts to straighten it up. And as you can see, before using that, because of the length of it, I'm going up and down. I've taken quite a lot of valleys and hills out of it. So now I just have to bring it back to normality, completely flat and straight. Eventually, after about half a dozen cuts, this has produced a flat surface and you get one continuous shaving. See how slow we can go. Whoops. Hang on. The Japanese do it like that, don't they? Really slowly. It comes out the top. Not quite their standard, but they use some amazingly perfect wood and some seriously sharp irons. Well, not bad for a British plane. Not bad. Anyway, that's it. Richard, the my panel plane, which will be in the heirloom chest forever, I think, and go in with all the other tools from the 18th century. You can just leave me. I'll just get on with this and just. This is baby's bum. I mean, this is baby's bum. This is baby's bum. Look at that. Shiny. Shiny. It's totally smooth. Not quite square. I wasn't concentrating, but smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. So, my first video after coming back. Hopefully there'll be some more. I look forward to doing those. But this is just to fill in for somebody who was asking about the panel plane. Take care, bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. As I say, we will be revisiting more videos. I have one on Mr. Tween I mentioned earlier, and
I also have ones on the spears that I did from David Barron. So look forward to seeing those. I won't be doing them every week, obviously, because we'll be involved in the project. But this week, we haven't got any visitors, have we? We haven't got any visitors this week. So we were all alone and we didn't have any footage, did we? So say goodbye, Alfie. We'll see you next week. You tell everybody we'll see you next week. And I'll yet again leave you with this little rat bag to say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.